Oh boy. 1 week until I get my hair cut. We'll see what it looks like next week, huh? Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Boop, boop, ba-do-do-do. Good morning. Good morning to you and you and you and you. So, all right, looks like nobody's on at the moment, so I'm literally just going to run over and get my little, oh, Cindy Hall, nice to see you. Hey, hon?
Yeah.
Could you grab me a little cord next to the bed, please? I have some guests and I don't want to disturb them. The one for my phone. It's right there. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Good Cat Mama. Cat Mama, check us out. We're in the same state. I'm in Connecticut right now for a few hours anyway before we head home. So, yeah. Good morning. Good morning. I am at a hotel. We had a busy weekend in Massachusetts and we just couldn't bear driving all the way back to PA. So, we decided to stop and stay. And I'm just going to charge up my things here. There we go. I like what I'm doing here. Yeah, good morning, Dana Reynolds. Nice to see you. Alicia, Judy Porter, Cindy Hall. Kate Kager, nice to see you as well. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Much better. Always good to have your battery charged. I was trying to make like a whole like life coaching and reality thing to it, and it's the same thing. So good morning. I got a cup of coffee, a cup of tea here. Look at, what does it say? Hospitality for the planet. Very nice. So yeah, so Carol E. Long. I started to declutter and I've stopped completely. Ooh, see, here's the funny thing. So I'll probably say this a couple of times, but I might as well get it right out there. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Now, Carol, I think it's actually kind of interesting that you stopped, because to me, when you're kind of going like this is me, just in case we haven't met, I tend to talk in like the road trip metaphor. I'm a certified life coach, but man, do I know about driving my car well and poorly. Good morning, Erin. I'm raising not my mug, but a hotel mug to you. And Carol, it's interesting because I'm looking out at a fairly large, expansive parking lot right now at this hotel that I'm staying in, and I think it's really interesting to notice why you stopped. When you're on a road trip, let's say, you're in the car, you get started and you drive. Now the driving is kind of like the doing of the stuff. Yes, that's good. You're doing what you're doing. I would be curious as to why you think you've stopped, and even just, how about, let's omit that word, just stopped completely, but why have you stopped completely? Okay, I love it, Carol. There's just only a handful of us here, so we can go do a little back and forth, a little bit like coaching. Everything has started to pile up and I'm frustrated. Okay, Carol, I want you to notice a couple of things. Hopefully you can see the comment you wrote. So notice the word everything. Everything, everything. What was that song? Band?
Final Fantasy.
No, the everything, everything. Da da da.
Jimmy Eat World.
Jimmy Eat World. Okay, I got my musician husband here. So what I want to get interested in, Carol, is when you say everything. To me, that is what I call a backseat driver word. Your backseat drivers are those words in your head that make you stop, make you not move forward, and they are little kids with a limited vocabulary, and they tend towards the dramatic. Everything has started to pile up, and, okay, everything has started to pile up, and I'm frustrated. So notice a couple of things. You've got a word in your head, you've got a phrase in your head, everything has started to pile up, and then those words make you feel frustrated. Now, when you know that, when you kind of dissect this, when you get curious about these little things, when you chunk it down, as I would say, I don't want to say dissect it because that reminds me of like frogs in science class. Notice when you're doing everything, nothing, always, never, that very all or nothing, black or white words tend to get you feeling stuck. You and I are going to kind of chunk that down incrementally. So I know it's not everything that's piled up, but I bet there's a lot of stuff. What I would recommend or suggest, Carol, is the fact that you have some things that you have piled up, that your brain is also, your backseat driver part of your brain is also offering I don't know what to do with all of this stuff. I've heard it before from clients on these TikTok lives when I do my monthly Zooms. I know, Carol, that you know what to do about some stuff. So start with that. Start with the things you do. Don't look at the overall pile. Focus, chunk it down and calm down. Get some distance from it. Even walk like to the back of the room and just look, okay, there's all this. And then move towards it and notice, okay, this big pile is created with a bunch of random things. So maybe what you do is you start unrandomizing them. You start to categorize these things. Categories. You put them in categories, okay? And then you may not know what to do with all of them immediately. I don't know is kind of a toss away, but I bet you know how to do some of it. Instead of saying everything's piled up, calm down your nervous system, get some perspective, talk in a nice, loving tone. Everything is not piled up. Some stuff is, yeah. But we will deal with the stuff we can, okay? When you think better, when you feel better, when you calm down your nervous system, even calming down your nervous system, talking with a slow voice, low voice, slowly, calmly, quietly, with love, I bet you're going to see some things to be like, oh, wait a minute, I know what to do with that thing. I know what to do with that thing. And then you go do the thing with the thing. And then that'll make you feel better. And boom, look, you've started up again. Okay? Hope that helps. Hope that helps. Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, good morning. Good morning. Feeling my decluttering flex. We can do it, right? Even with bingo wings. That's why I'm wearing a 3/4 length thing here. I sorted out a few bin this weekend and, my thing, there we go. I am sorting out jewelry right now and gifting things. Yes. Doesn't it feel good? Look at you. And then when you're decluttering, positive ripple effect, you are giving stuff away to people. Yeah, I love it. And my daughter, rightly so, said, daughter encouraged me to keep sorting while the energy was there. Yes. Lightning in a bottle. Capture that energy while you have it, because as we all know, we don't always have it. You know, and I love this. Laura says, I experienced the synchronous energy while we sorted old jewelry boxes together. You know, there we go. Now I understand the help I gave my friend in her hoarder home. Yeah, energy can build off of energy. That's why I show up to these TikTok lives, and I hope that I'm showing up in a loving, encouraging, you can do it, you've got this, no matter how little, how discouraged you are. Let me give you some courage, because my energy can then weave its way to you. And we don't even have to be in the same state or country in the world because of this connection right here. So, and Lauren, thank you. So Lauren says, yes, the song is called The Middle, Jimmy Eat World. The lyrics are perfect. Don't give up yet. Okay. I have heard them all. Usually I hear that sung by our friends down in Dewey Beach, Delaware. So I know the things, but I have heard the things before. So thank you. And who doesn't like a song with nice positive lyrics, right? Oh, sorry, he's got his earbuds in. So yeah, I love it. Carol says giving stuff away can be possible. Doesn't that sound a lot better? And look at Carol. It's just a handful of minutes since you were saying everything is piled up and I'm feeling frustrated. Now, giving stuff away can be possible. I will do it today. Yeah. It's a different word in your head that gives you a different feeling in your heart, and then you're doing different things. Moments ago, you were kind of on this side of your brain with everything's piled up. I'm feeling so frustrated. Grr. Head, heart, hand. On the other hand, on the flip side, because I'm all about the flip side, listen to that. Giving stuff away can be possible. How about even this? Giving stuff away is possible. You don't have to give everything away, but giving some stuff away is possible. I will do it today. I will take an action. I will do it today. You don't have to give away everything or all of it. Everything. You can give away the stuff you feel like you can give away today. There's no race. There's no timeline except for yours. Do what feels good and notice what you did. You changed your words in your head to change the feeling in your heart, which makes you change what you're doing with your hands. Now, I know I'm being obvious, but I'm a coach, so I want to make sure that you have this kind of tool in your toolkit after this TikTok live. Calming down your nervous system, breathing, not even engaging the word part of your body, just feeling better. I think they call it down-regulating if you want to use the fancy words, Yeah. Okay. Lighthearted says, tips when you only have 20 minutes of blocks of time to declutter. First of all, Lighthearted, I want to say, only have 20 minutes. 20 minutes is a lovely chunk of time to declutter. It really is. 5 minutes is great. So when you don't say only, when you have 20 minutes blocks of time to declutter, only, and this is where I feel like I'm kind of turning into like a bit of a what do you call it? English teacher. Only implies that 20 minutes isn't enough. 20 minutes is awesome. Love that 20 minutes you have and make the most of it that you can. Now, move at a pace that works for you. I would suggest lighthearted, depending upon where you are in your decluttering journey, because I think of decluttering as a journey. And I want to tell you kind of the 3 levels you'll go through pretty much every time you start to declutter. You've got surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. Write that down. I'll repeat it. Surface, stored, sentimental. So if you have 20 minutes, pick a room. This is another thing. Write this down. I'm writing my own book, and you're writing my book for me, so you all will have your own copy of it. Chunk it down. What does that mean? Okay, my whole house is cluttered. Pick one chunk. Usually a good chunk can be pick one room you want to work in. Okay? Don't restrict yourself. If you feel like flitting around like a butterfly, feel like doing that. But I like to chunk, at least to get started, start in one room and start on the surface. I also recommend setting an alarm for 20 minutes, because you may find once you get going, it's not as bad as you think, and you're like, oh, I'm on a roll. But if you have a hard stop at like 20 minutes, like I do today at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern, because I'm in the eastern part of the country, because I have coaching to do, you might want to set a timer. Don't do one of those tick, tick, tick ones, though. Just use the one on your phone, nice and quiet, and put stuff away where it belongs. Throw things away. Put things in bags of donations. Make a pile of things that you need to kind of do things with, and make that pile, but you can do it. And congratulate yourself on all the wonderful things you're doing in that 20 minutes. And I say this because when you feel good about what you're doing, and when you look back on it, you feel good about what you have done. Notice how I'm going from the present to the past, from the past to the present. Then in the future, not like when we're all astronauts and stuff, in the future, aka maybe later today or tomorrow, you will look back at decluttering, and instead of feeling, ugh, that was horrible, you'll think, hey, that wasn't that bad. And then that, hey, that wasn't that bad thought makes you feel encouraged, a little lifting of the heart, encouraged to start again. Come on, baby, let's start again, you know? My husband wrote a song with that lyric in it. I can tell he's got his earbuds in because he did not look at me knowingly. Okay? I love it. This is wonderful. Pregnant friend visited while I purged out my 7-month-old items. She went home happy. Yeah, notice the stuff that you have now that you don't want anymore because it just doesn't go with your lifestyle. Can definitely help somebody you know, and somebody you may never meet. You know, and Erin's offering, set a timer for 10 minutes. Oh, that's actually a good one. Build in time to put away items and clean up. Erin, chef's kiss. I wonder who gave you some suggestions. That's such a great idea that I totally missed. Yes, factor in time to tidy up so you're not just getting into it in 20 minutes and then being like, crap, my timer went off. So halfway. That's what I usually do when I'm taking a morning walk. If I want to walk for 40 minutes, I set my timer for 20, and then when the 20 minutes hits, I know I have to head home. So thank you, Erin. See, we're all here to help each other. You know, we're all in here to help each other. Okay, so Carol is saying, I'm living with a 104-year-old and a brother that totally fights to get what I'm trying to do, and I need to hear this. Caretaker is a mess. Okay, Carol, do this for you. Do this for you, nobody else. They will reap the benefits, but when you do it, you say, I don't care about you. I don't care what you think. What you say, what you know what I mean? Do not do it for you, because you know it's going to make you feel better. You know? So Peaches with a Z. Here, I can help you with this. Peaches is saying, I think you have great advice, but I always miss you when you're on. Okay. Peaches, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Get on to the Destination Decluttered free mailing list. It is free. And if anything, I probably send too few emails, but I don't want to overwhelm people. Go to destinationdecluttered.com. That's my website. I'll repeat it again. destinationdecluttered.com. Right there, you'll see a thing that says join, or you just scroll all the way to the bottom. You put your email address in. When you do that, you know what you get? First of all, you're going to get a welcome email. Second of all, now you're on the list, as we say in the rock and roll biz, and you have access to a page that will give you the schedule of when I'm going live. Now, I do this specifically. I used to post it for the people here on TikTok, and then I said, you know what? If there are people that have been nice enough to share with me their email addresses, I want to give them something as a thank you. So people on the mailing list get first dibs on everything that I do. And so go to my website, destinationdecluttered.com, sign up for the mailing list, and boom, you'll know when I'm on tomorrow, the next day, etc. You will also know when I'm not on because I'm traveling, and you'll know, okay, I won't have to worry about missing her. I can actually go to like my, what do you call it, my YouTube channel, Destination Decluttered on YouTube, and watch a recording. So I hope that helps, okay? And you're welcome, Lighthearted. You can do this. Okay. Okay, so Eureka's journey. I get this. My heart goes out to you because Eureka's saying, what about someone who is temporarily disabled? I'm in a wheelchair, which makes things difficult, okay? 1138, happy Monday to you too. We're gonna step on you again. Was that them or is that the farm? Eureka, here's something I want to share with you. Bless you. You, because you are in your... Bless you again. Because your physicality is encumbered, is jammed up at the moment because you're temporarily in a wheelchair. I want to share this with you and everybody else. There's almost 100 people on this TikTok live right now, so I want all y'all to listen up. Decluttering does not begin with your hands and moving your body. Decluttering begins in your head and in your heart. So if you are sitting there on your couch, on your bed, on the floor, in a wheelchair, in a hospital bed, you can do some decluttering. Let me help you with this. What I mean is you can look at something with your eyes and your head. It can say, hey, and I got a lamp next to me here because I'm in a hotel. Hey, that lamp, do I like it? Yeah. Is it in the right place? No. Let me put it in the right place. Okay. If I can't put it in the right place, what I can do, if I'm able to, is, take a piece of paper. Here we go. I'm in a hotel. They, how they have these things in hotels to take a note. Move lamp. Okay, where do I want that lamp to go? Well, I know I don't want it there. Move lamp off of this table. Put it on the other table or put it somewhere else. Up here and in here. And then you can write it down. If you can't write it down, be like the guy on Twin Peaks. Remember back in the day when he'd be like talking to the lady about the cherry pie? It was in the 90s, okay, and that was a couple of years ago, so I don't remember the specifics. Take a note. Hey, when I'm feeling better, or when somebody comes over to help me. When you go visit somebody who's sick and they say, what can I do to help you? Lovingly, you can be like, yeah, here's a list. So you can do something. Everybody, I want to empower you with the thought in your head and let it trickle down to your heart. I can do something about this thing that's bugging me. Okay, right, there we go. Yep, all right, there we go. Okay, so what else do we get going on here? So I'm in a hotel room. I love traveling. So you will see me live on here a lot, but you will see me kind of absent. Do not worry. When I'm not on TikTok creating content, I'm probably laying in my bed scrolling on TikTok early in the morning before my husband gets up. And I am taking notes on when I stay in hotel rooms. Do this yourself when you're on vacation. What do I like about this room? Maybe it's not as cluttered as home. What do I like about this? Well, this room actually is funny. It's kind of plain. I thought I like that minimalist look, but this room is a little bit on the generic side. Now, we're staying in a place that's supposed to be minimalist, so I'm noticing that, and what I'm noticing for me is I don't want my home to feel this way. Have you ever stayed in a hotel or visited someplace where you're like, ooh, I want my home to feel like this? I think back to the place that we were in Los Angeles, literally just about 6 weeks ago. It's a hotel in downtown Los Angeles called Hotel Per Se. I think it's part of like, Marriott. And we went there. We were there for my husband had a gig. It was over my birthday. So Marriott was like, hey, you've got some like bump up points. You want to use them? And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? Unbeknownst to me. So we ended up getting this amazing, so cool, this huge suite. It had a sitting room. It had this really funky couch. Actually, I did a TikTok live from there. So if you look at my TikTok lives that are available for you to watch back in early August, when you see me kind of sitting on a funky couch, I was like, oh, this is fun. I like this. Now, this room is serviceable. And I totally appreciate the functionality on it. But for me, I want my home to look a certain way. I want it to function a certain way, though. I still want it to function easily. Okay? The other thing is, too, is how do I want to feel? So, again, if you are writing your book of Destination Decluttered, write this down. How do I want it to look? with my eyes? How do I want it to function? Kind of like, easily. You basically want to function easily. I want to easily be able to. Now, that's one thing that this place does well. I'm sitting here at a small table. It's cool. I got some lighting right here, so when I do coaching later, I will have lighting. I guess it looks decent enough. There's a place right here. I didn't have to go scrambling around on the floor to plug in something. Right here on this table is a place for me that my computer's plugged into and my phone is plugged into. That to me is functionality. You want it to be easy to do the things you often do. So how does it look? How does it function? Or how do I want it to function? How do I want it to look? How do I want it to function? How do I? This is the most important, kind of like surface stored sentimental. How do I want to feel in my home? And as I like to say, whatever comes up, write it down. Okay? All right, Eureka's Journey. I love this. What are your ideas organizing pantry items as well as art supplies? Okay. I will share this with you, Eureka, and everybody else. I don't like things that are like a one-trick pony. You know those things that are in your kitchen cupboards or your drawers that are like, oh, I do one thing only. I only slice, hard-boiled eggs. I like things that serve multiple purposes. So my coaching process, my step-by-step process is pretty much the same with everything. And the one thing I want you to think of, Eureka, first of all, what you did already is part of it. You categorized pantry items as a category, art supplies as a category. And then what you do is you go and you further categorize them. Now let's start with pantry items first, because there is a really easy thing to do with pantry items. I immediately, regardless of what they were, if they were for baking, savories or sweets or spices or any of those, is I would look at the expiration dates on my things and I would pull out everything that I would create 2 categories. These items are past the expiration date posted on it. Boom. There's the thing there. Then the other one, these items are going to expire within 6 months. That other category. Everything else is going to be stuff that is good for 6 months or more. Okay, those are categories. Then, depending upon that category, you do a different thing with that category. Now, let's go nice and slow, because this is how you learn. This is how you learn how to drive, okay? That one category of stuff you have, instead of like pantry items, now you have 3 categories. Expired, almost expired, not expired. I would do this. Now, you should throw away the stuff that's expired, because it's going to be gross. It might hurt you. It won't taste as good. It won't work as well, and it might make you sick. But before I do that, I might snap a photo of those things, because that is evidence of the stuff that you didn't use all of the quantity of. So the next time you think you're going to go buy something, learn from the items you give away and you throw away. Okay? Learn about yourself. Oh, I thought I was going to use a lot of that, breadcrumbs, and I didn't use a lot of those. Or I didn't use them before it expired. Oh, we bought the big thing of mayonnaise from the fridge because it was a better value per ounces than the tiny one, but now I'm throwing away like 7/8 of the jar because we don't use mayonnaise as much as we do. Or we use mayonnaise more in the summer than we do in the winter. Learn from what you are discarding. So take a picture of that stuff, discard it, and the next time you go to buy it, maybe you'll buy a smaller container. Maybe you'll say to a friend, hey, I'm only making this one recipe. Kind of in the olden days, they'd say, come on over to somebody's house with a cup of coffee, can I borrow a cup of sugar? Maybe you can borrow a tablespoon of celery seeds from somebody for this one recipe that you make once a year. Okay? The things, though, that's one category. You do that, the next category, and I know I'm going deep and slow, but this is with everything. The next category you have a different answer for. Now, this category is going to be unopened items, or opened items, you can even do it. Opened items that are expiring within 6 months and unopened items that are expiring with 6 months. Again, this is going to be your stored clutter, so you have to think about these things and have a conversation with yourself and say, do I plan on using this, or can I make a plan to eat this within the next 6 months? I highly recommend then, when you make your recipes for this week, start to incorporate those things that are going to expire. However, if maybe you bought like spaghetti was on sale, buy 2, get 3 free, and you're like, oh, this is such a deal. I love a deal, so I'm going to buy all the spaghetti, but you're not eating that much spaghetti, and you've got 4 boxes of spaghetti that are unopened, but they're going to expire within the next 3 months, and there's no way you're going to eat like 4 pounds of spaghetti. This is when I recommend getting a bag and finding your local food pantry, homeless shelter, church, somewhere where you can donate your unexpired, unopened foods that you know yourself, I'm not going to eat 6 pounds of it, spaghetti in the next 6 months. And then the food that you have left over that you're going to keep, notice what we're doing. We've already pulled out the other stuff. So when you go to do that, do another check. Will I eat this food? I thought I was going to be all vegetarian, but I'm not eating vegetarian as much as I thought. Maybe I'll call some things away. And again, if they're unopened and unexpired, I'll add those to the things. I walk almost each month. My husband and I take a walk to the food pantry and drop off things that we thought we were going to eat, but for one reason or another, we haven't. Okay? So notice that. Art supplies, same thing. Categorize them. Ask yourself if you're going to use them. If you're going to use them, make a plan to use them. If you're not going to use them, do not shame yourself into guilt yourself into using them. Who wants to create art when you're doing it out of shame and guilt? No, but maybe there is a place where you live that you can donate those items. Okay? Eureka's Journey. Notice, it's the same process, different categories, same step-by-step process. Okay. I love this. Gail is saying, hit a small file cabinet I hadn't touched in 20 years. 20-year-old documents for the next county shredding event. Awesome. I saw a friend of mine this weekend who was like, hey, guess what? Because you asked about it, we are going to have a shredding event at the transfer station near where you live. So there we go. Now, yeah, I love jams. Pictures are so hard. They can be hard, but don't start with them. I'm not saying ignore them, but start with your surface, then go to stored, and then go to sentimental. Okay? So notice that. All right, so Heather, this is great. Heather's saying, I'm moving. I don't know where to start. I need a major declutter first. Yes. Get rid of the stuff you don't want in your current house, and also, as if you are, because you have this wonderful opportunity that not many people have. Okay? Moving into a 600 square foot, one-bedroom apartment? Okay. I don't have advice on multifunctional furniture or items, but I would look at those things that you can use for something else. Maybe you use, something with a top that you can put, like on IKEA is really good for this. Like instead of a coffee table, you have a tub that has a flat top so you can put things in it, but you can take things off, that type of thing. But what I would say is start with your surface clutter, the stuff you definitely know you don't want now and you don't want in your future house. Also know you're going to need to be extra kind of mindful about this if you're going into a small place. But this is a wonderful opportunity to absolve yourself of keeping things that you didn't really want anyway. Oh, if I had the room, I'd keep it, but I don't want it anyway, so I'm going to remove it. Can I ask you a favor? Can you get me my sweatshirt or turn off the fan or turn down the fan? It's totally blowing on me.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. It's always good to have a man around the house. So yeah, start with your surface clutter, stored clutter, and start to decorate your new home the way you want it. It doesn't have to have all the stuff you have. When you move into a new house, think of it as Barbie Dream House. You're getting the starter pack. You're just getting the walls and maybe the Barbie doll. And then you have to buy all the little plastic accessories. What are the things you want to use for, what do you want your new home to look like? What do you want it to function like? Thank you. And, oh, awesome. And what do you want it to feel like? Okay, start there. Write those things down and go for it. Okay? Heather says, do you use NFC tags for organization? No. Here's a funny thing. This is my mantra, and this is why I'm a decluttering life coach. I organize like nobody's business, but I hang out in the part of the process where the decluttering is. I see a lot of these things where people are buying those opaque black totes with the yellow tops, and they're creating storage systems, and they've got a tag. That's a wicked lot of stuff. I like to help you not have to do that at all because you don't have as much stuff to take care of. To me, that's somebody buying a lot more storage stuff to keep things that they just haven't gone through the decluttering process. I hang out. Everything in life is a process. Think about it. You have sex, then a baby germinates, and you have a baby, right? You have ingredients, and then you make some chocolate chip cookies. Like everything is a process. My area of the process is, do I want to make chocolate chips or do I want butterscotch chips? Does it need to be either or? Can I make both? That sounds actually kind of good. This is one, write it down. I'm writing my book and I'm just telling it to you word for word. You got to sort it before you store it. And sorting, categorizing and making a decision about what you keep and what you remove, that right there is powerful because you know yourself. You struggle with what to keep and what not to. I think the people that are selling you a lot of these totes and things like this, they like to skip over that part of do I even want it or do I release it, because they want to sell you totes. So no, I don't do that. Now, love jams, I just want to get back to this really quickly. Pictures are so hard. Yeah, that's sentimental. Sentimental items are the things that cause your heart to feel a feeling. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I see that picture of my grandmother and she looked like an old lady back then. Or, oh my gosh, now that I'm aging, I notice I'm totally get my grandmother's nose is starting to grow on my face. So yeah, pictures can be hard, so don't start with them. That's like walking into the gym and being like, yeah, you know, deadlifting 250 pounds is hard. It is. Until you build yourself up for it. So you know how you build yourself up for this is actually we go, instead of building yourself up, we're kind of getting deeper and deeper. You start with your surface clutter. You start with your stored clutter. And then by the time you go through those things, you've learned those step-by-step habits. You've learned a habitual way of thinking. And that always ends up with, what do I want? Now, family photos can be a little bit different. I am the person who's taking care of my family kind of history. So I'm very mindful of what photos I keep, but also not overwhelming another generation. Don't overwhelm the next generations with your stuff. Learn to make decisions now. Okay? Learn to make decisions about what I want to keep and move forward with and what I want to let go of. Okay? There we go. I love it. Hey, you know what, Erin? Here's a funny thing. Because Erin just said, aha, I just heard permission to take 9 months to declutter this place. You could. So let's have some fun. So let's pretend, because I don't do the halvesies so well. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. How do you want your home to look next June? Now, here's a fun thing. You can decide how long it takes you to get there. You can take, technically, you could, if you drove really fast, because I know from Pennsylvania to Palm Springs, California, I charted it once, it's like a 40-hour drive. So you could take 4 days to get to your destination, but that is solid 10 hours of driving per day. That means you can't look at anything on the outside. You can't take a break. Even stopping to get gas is going to add time. Notice how that feels kind of panicky. So maybe you cut that in half. And you say, I'll take 8 days and I only drive 5 hours. Okay, that feels better. Do you want to take 40 days and just drive an hour a day? Maybe you do. You get to decide the pace you work at. To me, when I see a destination I want to get to, I want to feel like I'm moving along at a good clip, as my mother would say. We're going around a nice clip. Not too slow, not too fast, just right. And having that fun while you're getting there. You're not afraid in the slow lane going, I don't know, oh, I'm going to drive 20 miles an hour because I'm not afraid. Shh. You're also not zooming by going, I got to get there right now, it's too late. Think of yourself on, you're driving. You're not like the person, please, don't be the person in the middle of the road who is cruise controlled on the speed limit. Move with the flow of traffic. Okay, but move ahead at a pace that makes you, instead of getting to where you want to get to in June, how about you get there by January? And then you know what you do? It's like you're just living from January, February, March, April, May, June. You're just living in a home that looks good, functions well, and feels good. Okay? Now, Heather is asking, what's your opinion on keeping clothing that's one size smaller because you want to lose weight? Go for it. Go for it. 2 things I will mention, though, really easily. All of the clothes that you have that are of a size that you're not currently are, pull them out of circulation. You are not currently wearing them. That's kind of like if you wear, like I live in a place that has 4 seasons and not just the landscapers or the hotels. Pull the things you're not using out of circulation. So if you can't fit into those clothes, don't have them hanging with your clothes that you can fit into. Maybe there's one inspirational outfit you put there as inspiration, but everything that you are keeping that is too small for you right now, take it out, put it in a clear tote so you can look in it and see what it is. Maybe you even put a little sign on it. What I've got started to do is like take a piece of paper and write on it and then tuck it on the inside of the thing so it doesn't get faded or I have to tape it in. Clothing, Beth Clothing, September 24. Size 2, and then I put it away. And then, you know what I do? This is the thing. You've dealt with the clutter itself. Now it's the habits. Are you changing your habits to get yourself into that size? So it's those 2 things. That's how I would approach it. I love this. Rowan Creative scanned all my pictures with a photo scanner and sent the pictures to family members. I love that. Yeah, we live in a different technological time now. Back in the day, you only had one picture. Then there was that miraculous event of being able to like get multiple copies made. So again, you probably have multiple copies. If you have, it's interesting to me. So I was an art history major, so I know about kind of archiving of things, but I tend to get some distance and look at things historically. So think of like 1900, 1910, 1920. If you have photos from your family from that era, you are lucky because your people had enough money to own a camera or to get their portraits taken. 20s to 30s, 30s to 40s, we've got new, and then 1940s. That's World War II. A lot of technology developed, and even then, people might have their own Instamatic cameras. Then, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s is probably where you have the highest stacks of photos because you could take these snapshot photos. You go down to the Bird's Hill, and you go, have them, send them away, and they come back. So you probably have a lot of photos from decades of your family like that. And now the funny thing is, at least for me, is my kind of bell chart for my photos has totally decreased paper-wise because everything's on my phone right now. Yeah, there we go. I have one tintype family photo. Yes, I have very few of those ones from early eras, and then it expands, So notice those eras that you have them. Now, here's my point, and I'm going to get dark for a moment, but I think this is really valid, is I just went to a funeral last week. I've been to 4 funerals this year, and I'm going to go to more in my life until I die, until it's my funeral. You too. I'm not the only one dying, you guys. You're all in this with me, okay? The reason I say this is because going there changed my idea of how I want to organize my photos, my family photos. And what I say is when you're going through your photos, start to categorize them and start with this. How about these are pictures of just me? These are pictures of just my sister. These are pictures of just my mom. These are pictures of just my dad. These are pictures of mom and dad. This is a family photo. Start to categorize them by person, by what do you call it? Like by category, by topic. And I say this because when somebody dies, you're going to want pictures of somebody for their scrapbook, for if it's a piece of poster board where you're tacking them up there, or you go to a place that has the PowerPoint on the screen. You're going to want the pictures of the people you cared about. Now, trust me, I know I have a lot of crappy pictures of me back in the day because you didn't know until 2 weeks after you took the picture that your eye got kind of stuck with the thing. So do a favor to yourself and to everybody else. Curate the photos of the people so they look good. They look happy. They don't look like they're drunk even just because their eyes fluttered with the flash. Okay? So just notice that. Now, Picky is saying, totally true, water is leaking from our basement ceiling. That's one way to be forced to clean. Yeah, but wouldn't it be cool? I will say this, yes, use those unexpected efforts, unexpected things to help you declutter. But wouldn't it be nice to not even have to worry about that because you were already decluttered? So don't wait for an extenuating circumstance to get you started. Now, this is great because Heather is saying, how do you quicken the decluttering? I love the word quicken. The decluttering process, if you're struggling because of overwhelm and decision paralysis, you know what you do? Right here, right here, right here, right here. Maybe you do some tapping. Maybe you do, There's little patterns. You can look at that. Before even dealing with the clutter, put that aside. Deal with the feeling of overwhelm. Deal with the thoughts that are causing you to feel overwhelmed. If you're struggling because of overwhelm and that feeling of overwhelm causes you to tighten up your brain so you can't make a decision and they get paralyzed, let's go back to where it all belongs. Calming down the nervous system. Breathing down. Here's my thing. Again, I'm writing my book, people. Write it down and you're going to have your copy. Go from overwhelm to down. Overwhelm to down. The opposite. So what do I mean by that? Slow down. Breathe down into the bottom of your lungs. Slow down your breathing. Sit down even. It's supposed to sitting. Sit down. Put your feet down on the floor. Meditate. There's a lot of these things for meditation. Quiet down your brain. Shh. Even just saying shh. Soften your voice. Quiet down your voice. slow down how you're speaking to yourself. Do all these things kind of at the same time. Quiet down, slow down. If you're hunched over, you move your body. Maybe you stretch your body. You move your lungs so you can breathe down more. You quiet down. And when you start to feel better, you're going to do better. Quiet down that, as I like to call it, the backseat driver. The scared little kid in the backseat is saying, no, I can't, I don't know. And that's when you, as your co-pilot, say, I do know what to do here. I can do some of this. I may not know how to do it all, but I know how to do some of it, so I'm going to do what I know how to do. We all do what we know how to do. We all don't know how to do. We all don't do the things we don't know how to do. I'm not marching in a parade, playing a flute because I don't know how to do it, nor do I want to. Okay? But this is what I say. Before you start anything in your life, start with yourself first, the internal. When you feel better, you will do better. And then when you're feeling better, that's when we can start. We can start to make a plan, but we can't even make a plan until we know what we're aiming for. This is, what would I rather this house look like? Okay? So while my coaching process, allegedly on the surface, starts with defining your destination, you can't even define your destination of what you want it to look like or feel like or function or, whatever, until you have sat down and given yourself the time to write this stuff down, to calm down your nervous system. So this is where we even start. Okay? So there we go. So I hope that helps. Okay. All right. Ooh, we got a bunch of things here. Yep. Google. Okay. Google Photos does some good stuff. If you used Google Photos, you rock on that. I love the okay, good stuff. And Heather, notice when fear, okay, this is the thing. Really quickly. You've got two voices in your head. You're the driver in the car, but you've got two passengers. You've got your co-pilot who's in the front seat with you, in the passenger seat. They're in the 100% love. You've been on a road trip with a great co-pilot. They're like, dude, I got it all set. I got the map, I got the snacks, I got the road trip music. I'm here to encourage you. I'm not going to drive because this is your journey, but I'm going to encourage you every step of the way. That's your co-pilot. That's me. Picture me in the passenger seat next to you when you are driving somewhere. Now, if it was only the two of us, it'd be cool. Where you want to go? Let's go there. I can help you. Ha-ha! No, this is why I'm a coach, because guess who else we have in the car? We got this backseat driver. We got the backseat driver's favorite word is no, because they're a constant little kid. Their favorite feeling is fear. And notice where fear can get you stopping. Fear can motivate you. The fear of death, to me, that gets a kick in my pants. I want to do something. I wanted to stay at this hotel before I died. Look at me. Instead of being outside of it and driving past it all the time on 95 and being curious about what was inside, I am inside. I have satiated my curiosity. But the backseat driver's like, no, you don't need to do that. That's going to cost money. You can just drive home. But notice when the fear of not doing something gets you motivated. Okay, Heather has the fear of when I die, the biggest impact I'll leave behind is my clutter. Okay, so stop that and start something else. I will never forget Rocket Betty. Find her here. She does wonderful custom clothing. I met her through the Tiki World. She is awesome. And I will never forget these simple yet powerful words she shared to me at a tiki bar in Asbury Park, New Jersey. She said, yeah, you know what? If what you're doing isn't working, then do something else. And she's doing that herself. Yeah. Rowan is saying funerals were a motivator for my cleaning. Do I really want someone else to have to deal with my mess? Not have to. Yeah. Notice and here's the great thing though. I know you guys are looking at other people. Oh, I don't want them to have to deal with my mess. How about if you take care of it now, you don't have to deal with it either, and you get to live in a decluttered life. Yeah, Sherry had a near-death scare. Since then, I look at my clutter different, and I have a funeral file of pictures. Yeah, file of pics for my funeral video, and my wishes have always been doing files for each photo. Yeah, good stuff to remember. Amanda says, I have a craft room, hall closet, and cabinet full of supplies. Do I need to sort all into categories? Yeah, you do. But guess what? You already have, and it's not as difficult as you think. You have a category of clutter in your house called craft supplies. Then you probably have craft supplies that support one craft or another. Here's all my wreath making crafts. Here's all my stained glass crafts. Here's all the stuff. Like, you have some big categories because they are the things that create, that enable you to create the end product. You have some things that go between things, like there's my scissors and my glue gun and stuff like that, but you have other ones. So you've already kind of done it, you know? And you don't have to. Here's a wonderful thing, Amanda. You don't have to do a damn thing. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I don't get into convincing and forcing and being like, suck it up, buttercup, because I think that is bullshit. Unless you feel like you want to do it, you're not going to do it. So I hope to encourage you to start feeling like you want to do it, and not for anybody else, but for yourself. If you have all these places with your craft supplies are, is it easy for you to immediately start a craft and do it and then put your stuff away? Is it easy for you to go and if somebody said, oh, I want to get into that craft, you could say, oh, here, let me tell you where that stuff is in my closet. Just go get it and you can borrow it. Notice I'm talking about functionality for you. You want it to look organized, yeah, but you want it to function well so you can find the things, make the craft, put it away. Also, you guys, decluttering is also decluttering your schedule, so you make time in your schedule. You make room in your schedule to do the crafts. Yeah. Hey, Christina Glendale, nice to see you. Christina just said, you empower, not demand. It gives us the power. Yeah. Because if you're doing it because I tell you to, as soon as I don't tell you to, you're not going to do it. Hello? Haven't we all been children growing up? The real cool thing is when you can encourage yourself from within. Now, I didn't have to do a TikTok live this morning, but I said I was going to, and then I was like, oh, I guess I'll do it from Connecticut because I'll be in a hotel room, and I'm going to schedule it at a certain day. I do these because I want to. When I start to feel like I have to do this stuff, that's when I, too, will back up and be like, if this isn't fun, I'm not going to do it, right? Now, I love this. Everybody, give Laura Gibbon Voorhees a high five, a congratulations, because earlier, about 45 minutes ago when I started this TikTok live, she said she had been decluttering jewelry herself and her daughter, and she harnessed that energy, that momentum, and she kept on going. Now she said, I'm gifting it to people. She said, lady just picked up the box of jewelry. Yay! I am giving you high fives. If I was on my little thing, I would do the little high five, like the emoji, you know. But awesome work, people. It can be done. And it isn't as bad as you think it's going to be. It actually can be really good and awesome and illuminating about who you are right now, what you like right now, what you used to like, what you like now, what you don't like. All right, my husband likes to go work out, so he's going to go do that. You know? Heather says, okay, how many categories are too many categories? Even my safe TikToks are organized into about 50. Okay, I love that. You know what? There's no right or wrong answer. I would be interested. I just started recently to categorize mine, see what categories come up. If it makes sense to you, it doesn't matter. What matters is that it makes you feel like if I want to go use that item, I know where it is. Sometimes, though, we can get stuck over, what is that word I'm always thinking of? Like over, getting too detaily. I like to keep it somewhat broad because then, you know, it's easier because it's easier to find it. So like I have a TikTok, one of my big TikTok categories is vacation destinations. It's broad. It doesn't say Europe, US, local, things like that, vacation destinations. Once you do that, if you feel like it, you can declutter your stuff into further things, but only if you want to. But don't get overwhelmed by the details. Start with the big piles first, okay? Heather says, what's the best way to store jewelry without getting tangled up? I have no idea. I'll be honest with you. I don't. But you know what you do? You type that exact same thing into Google, you're going to have 1 million people who do. Okay? So, awesome. Yeah, overthinking. Yeah, the minutia, exactly. Christina, you and I both know you can easily. And here's something I want to hit you with, people. Hit me. James Brown. Is that you have a gas tank. Like in your car, your gas tank is a fixed size. My car takes like 12 gallons, okay? I know I love having a full tank, but as I drive home, even today, when we go from New Haven to New York to New Jersey and all the news, and then to Pennsylvania and all that, the tank is going to empty. Notice that about yourself on a daily basis. You hopefully start with a full tank. Sometimes we start the day and we don't have a full tank. How can you get your tank to full before you start? How can you refill your tank throughout the day? But I say this as far as physical energy, but I say it as mental energy and also decision-making energy. Now hear me out on this one. Decision-making energy is the mental energy it takes you to decide what to do with something. And it doesn't matter what size the item is. The decision-making process takes the same amount of energy. You can say, what do I do with this tiny little charm from a charm bracelet? Or you can say, what do I do with that couch that I don't want anymore? Or, see, I already said that. What do I do with that charm or that couch? The decision-making takes about the same amount of energy, but man, do you get a lot more bang for your buck starting with the big stuff. So start with the things that take up the most physical space. Okay? So notice this. I love it. Oceana Nana says, last time I listened to you, I went through a pile of magazines and papers and lists of notes. Thanks. You're welcome. Hey, something fun about that I want to hit you with is if you join the Destination Decluttered mailing list, every month we do a free group Zoom. Now, for many times, probably since I started that, they've always been in the evening and we kind of sit around and have like a Zoom meeting. That's kind of fun, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm mixing it up this month because I like to mix things up. Is the October Zoom is going to be on a weekend day. I have the weekend picked out, but I'm going to get in touch with my clients because I want them to be helping to make the decision of what day would work for them. My paying clients always get first dibs on the best stuff. And we're going to do a thing where we all log on to Zoom for like an hour and a half maybe, and we all go say, okay, we're starting now, and then you go declutter your clothes, and you're going to declutter your thing, whatever you want to declutter, and you want some help, you want some companionship, you want to do it together forever and ever, two-part, you want to do it together, we're going to do that. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, destinationdecluttered.com, get on my mailing list if you're not on it already. Details to follow, probably closer. Like I know I have some clients on here. The email I'm going to send you guys is going to be more towards like October 1st, just because we'll be looking at the new month and saying, okay, this is a little bit too far out. I don't know what I'm doing. And things change all the time. So I'm going to get closer to that date. The other thing too is I just mentioned this, but I haven't mentioned it at all now because basically I don't have any coaching consultation slots on my calendar because this week is really busy. But I do one-on-one coaching. I do paid one-on-one coaching with people on Zoom. I have a 10-session package of paid coaching. I have people on their first package, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. I do it all. So if that's something you're interested in, again, the best way is even if I don't have any consultation slots on my calendar, if it sounds like, ooh, that might help me between now and Christmas, because we've got Halloween, Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and the December holidays, and then the New Year. Do I want to get decluttered before the New Year? Maybe a one-on-one decluttering life coach working on Zoom would help me. So get on my mailing list again for that, destinationdecluttered.com. Alrighty. So what else do we have? Erin says, no rules. I save by creator, but you can save recipes, comedy, puppies, etc. Yeah, I literally have my two big ones, I think, frankly, are vacation destinations, because I so want to expand where I vacation, besides just New Haven. And also Abraham Hicks. I find the Abraham Hicks words very uplifting and motivating, so I try to listen to those. But I have recipes, I've got funny stuff, I've got stuff that I've saved, like songs that I remember from the past, all those things. Okay, Freckles the Menace says, that's awesome, I really need it. Okay, again, destinationdecluttered.com /join, and get on my mailing list, okay? There we go. Happy Monday, Julie. Yeah, I love the little songs you drop in your talks. That's how I live. You guys, if you guys ever met me in person, actually, I'd probably be quieter than I am here. I am required to do a TikTok live to talk. Other than that, it would be pretty awkward, wouldn't it? But when I do talk in real life, this is how my brain works. I'm a Gen Xer. I have an elderly mother, and I've got nieces and nephews, and I've got my own clutter. I grew up in the world before there was the internet, so I have a whole bunch of, back in the day, you saved paper. I literally came across, and I showed it on one of my TikTok lives, an envelope of cashed checks that showed where all the money went when my great-grandfather sold the house to my grandmother and like my 7 great aunts, or however many there were, 6, 5. Well, they lost May, but I digress. I know what it's like. I grew up in a cluttered household. I come from a loving, and I got to tell you, people, you know what? The people who have always been skinny never know the delight in, the accomplishment in losing a couple of pounds. That's not such a great vacation. Excuse me. That's not a great example because I don't want to fat shame anybody. But the people who have always had something don't get to savor it because they don't know the contrast. If you've ever been cold, you will always appreciate the heat. If you have ever been hungry, you will totally savor a bite to eat. When you have been cluttered, you will totally revel in the delight of it being not cluttered around you. So I live in a constant state of revelation, I guess. I don't know. Like I'm reveling like, oh, this is so nice. I love how my house looks because I grew up in a cluttered home. I have the contrast. I know how it feels to be in a cluttered home. I just went to my mother's house. It is so much better than it has been in years. And you know who to thank for that? That'd be me. Because my mother's like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm here. I'm like, I know what to do. I'll help you. Now, the only person's house I go to help with clutter is my mother. I don't go to yours. Okay? All right. Gila Rio. Okay. So Gila Rio, we got to chunk it down. Okay. Notice I have loads of generational paperwork. Notice this. It's loads of it. Generational. It's been happening for decades. Ugh. Literally this feeling of ugh. It's daunting. Okay. Here's what I want to offer you. Make sure before you start anything, head, heart, calm down your nervous system. Sit yourself up, calm yourself down, start all over again. Sit down, calm down, feet on the ground. Breathe down into your lungs. I do this because the word down, if you just think of the word down, shoulders down, breathing down, settling down, calming down, slowing down, quieting down. Notice even my hands are going from up to down and they're going slowly. Even if you spend a minute doing this, you'll realize that a minute is a long time. If I sat here in a minute and just did this, if I had my timer on, and we all did this literally for just a minute, you would start to feel better. And when you feel better, you do better. Once you've felt better, what I want you to do is, first of all, ask yourself, well, what do I want this to be like? And this is where I say whatever comes up, be prepared. Be prepared to write it down. Write it down. What do I want that paperwork? What do I want that paperwork? I want it to be gone. I want to save the important stuff. I want to shred the stuff that I'm afraid has got personal information on it. And I want to put it safely so if I need it, I know where it is. Okay, you've written it down. Then you're going to chunk it down. Okay? So notice what we're doing. All these words that down comes in, Calming down your nervous system is always going to be the first one. When you're all activated, you're not in a good pace of mind to make a decision. So you pet yourself. You calm yourself down like a scared little kid. That's why I say it's a little kid in the back seat. They're pitching a fit. I don't know. I'm sorry. They're putting themselves into a tiz. Now, I'm not a mother, but I used to babysit. I've got, nieces and nephews. Shh. You calm them down. Then when they're breathing better, everything's going to be okay. And then that's where you start, right there. And then you say, what would I rather have it look like? And then you write that down, and then you chunk it down, and you do the chunks. Maybe you do it by decade. Here's my 80s paper. Here's my 70s paper. Here's my 60s paper. You also get curious. When's the last time I've even had to look at any of this paper? If you haven't, most of it, 99.9% of it, probably can go in the shred. Okay? But you can't even think about that if your mind is all like, shh. And I know my ADHD people, that can be difficult. But this part of it, this is a skill you learn when you get decluttering life coaching, is to learn to work with your brain, not fight against it. Okay? Now, I love this. Jen O is working with her husband. It's like, we have been rearranging each room. Hubs is helping. Each moved item is cleaned, under, on, etc. We do a few things every night. Items in section as we go. We are loving it, literally. Yeah, doing it with somebody, especially you're working in the house. Now, this doesn't work, as I will be honest with you. I tend to be a little bit bossy as far as my husband's stuff goes, but we collaborate a lot. The thing is that he has his one room, his kind of man cave, his music cave, that is a lot more chaotic than the rest of the house, but it's his room. I try really hard not to bug him about it, but sometimes I do, because when I go to like open the blinds or the windows, I'm tripping over stuff and that gets me aggravated. But whenever you can collaborate with somebody, do that. If you know it's not going to work out, though, do it for yourself. Don't do it for other people, but do things to make you feel better, and you may inspire people with how it looks better. Okay? There we go. Okay, Mel 510 says, I grew up in a cluttered home and they slowly started hoarding. Last year I found paper dated 1979. Yeah, so I found some paper dated 1949. I found paper that is dated 1973. I get all the papers. I mean, literally, I think I did it on a TikTok live when I was bringing stuff home from my mother's. I got like the receipt from when I was a baby, and they sent, and I got cloth diapers were ordered in 1966. People, you know, we save random things. Oh, that will remind me of when Beth was small and she was in cloth diapers. But then I found 4, 5, 6, 7 other ones of them. Do we need that quantity? No. And you know what? Here's the deal. Everybody, including ourselves, we are doing the best we can with what we have. And I just realized I have to do coaching because I got really into it. I got to sign off, you guys. I have a client. I really apologize to her. I'll be right there, my dear. And look at me. I get all in the zone and I forget what things are going on because it happens sometimes. I will see you guys later, okay? Sign up for my mailing list, destinationdeclutter.com. Okay, bye.